Here are 10 points in 10 minutes with Jason Shiers.
Okay, step one. You are way more than you know. And that's the truth, because as human beings, we get lost in the human experience. And what we don't know is what our true potential is. And our true potential is always so much more than what we've lived and what we know in our small, by say small, intellectual mind. I don't mean small-minded as a criticism. I mean small as in it's limited from this limited separate perspective of that I think I am of me, and it doesn't see the whole perspective of the whole universe. So the first thing to know is that there's infinite possibility and infinite potential, and going from that perspective, like you're open, yourself is open to so much more potential. Step two is you can't be broken. You just cannot be broken. It's not even possible. The human design works perfectly. I mean, if you think about it, it's interesting that people really think that the default state of the body is health, and that's normal. It's not healthy. There's something wrong. But the mind, people don't understand that if you just leave it alone, it returns to a natural equilibrium. What we've done is we've got too involved in meddling with it, trying to fix it, finding solutions for the very problems that we've created. See, all suffering is pathologized normal human response to adversity and trauma. And we've created that. We've pathologized it. We've turned it into labels and things and stuff. And then we've provided the solution for it, which is what man does. Man is infinitely creative. And that makes it too difficult because we're constantly moving in the wrong direction to resolve this stuff. So step three is how do we see that differently? It's about simplicity. Einstein, who was one of the greats of our time, in discovering the human experience and humanity and how it worked. Well, if you put in quotes in Google from Einstein and talk about simplicity, you'll see a lot of times that he made quotes about simplicity. Any fool can make things more complicated. It takes a touch of genius to make things more simple. If you can't see the problem simply, you're not looking at it right. Those are just two that come to mind. It's like, and that's the same for the human mind, the body, the human experience, and all suffering, is that when we see that actually moving into more complicated and complex solutions and problems is actually the wrong direction to look in, moving into simplicity and seeing what's right with us and the natural default state of equilibrium is really kind of the way to look. Was that 3 or 4? I think that's 4. Okay. So step 4 is your natural state is peace and happiness. And all you can ever do is take yourself away from that. You don't have to do anything to get the very thing that you want, the thing that you always wanted, the things that you strive for in the outside objective world, the things that you think come from money and weight loss and relationships and status and bigger houses and bigger cars and getting there, wherever there is, more clothes, more money, more life, more whatever it is. Happiness can't come from that. You cannot find happiness in the objective world in a short way as possible as I can say it. The only thing that happens when you acquire a new objects meaning anything outside of yourself, including people, not in a disrespectful way, but just as a simple way of defining the difference between inside and outside. When you get a new object, your mind goes quiet. You experience your true nature for a moment, and then it goes again because you want the next thing. Once you get one car, you want the next. Once you get a bigger house, you want a bigger one. Once you get more money, you want even more. The 5th point is everything is love in disguise. Everything is love in disguise. Love is who you are. It's not the place to get to. It's not something that you get from other people. It's something that comes from you when you see this stuff that I'm pointing to, when you see the simplicity of the life experience, when you see the simplicity of who you are, when you see your default state is peace and happiness and contentment, and when you just rest in your being, then love is what comes from you. Love is who you are. Love is what you experience. In a relationship, what you experience in reflection with another person is yourself. It's not them. So they're a mirror. All of life is just a mirror reflecting back to you the truth of who you are. And as you get closer to your true nature and your true self, you experience more love in your life. And that is simply how it works. Step 6. Suffering is really an innocent attempt to return to ourselves. That's what it is, and it's like all mental illness as defined by the system, is really just an outward manifestation of an internal condition that's been labeled and pathologized. So really you could say that anxiety, depression, addiction, all those things are like an alarm clock from the soul. And what they're telling you is, look inwardly. Look inwardly. Something's not right inside. It's like, and that's where it needs to change. But yet what we do is we reach for the outside and we can't find solutions in the outside, only on the inside. Step 7, I may even repeat myself here, but I'm sure it's all slightly different. All the answers are within. I'm sure you've got that from what I've said so far. And what does that mean? Because many people said to me for years, the answers are within, and I would be like, well, whereabouts? Where do I look? It's kind of like, what part of me is it in? How do I find it? Because it was like in my own mind, I'm me, Jason, a separate human being, separate from you, separate from everyone, separate from everything. And the weight of the world is on my shoulders, and it's like you can lift that invisible rucksack off your back of trying to get somewhere or trying to get someone to help you be okay because you're already okay, And when you see that, when you look within, at the creation of your own mind. I mean, even as simple as seeing that if I think there's something wrong with me, there must be a place inside of me that knows that I'm okay. Because otherwise, how could what's happening be wrong? There's got to be a polarity of experience there. Step 8. This one probably should have been step 1. Slow down. Feel your own heart. Experience your own body. Step out of your head. Put your phone down. Be present with the person in front of you. Be curious about life, about people, about love, about yourself. Step 9. The only thing that's happening here in the human experience is we're trying to escape the present moment. That's the only thing we're ever doing. In everything we do in the world, we're trying to escape the present moment. Mobile phones are like a dummy for adults. That's what they're for. They're like a soother. They're trying to escape the present moment. When you slow down, you might find that uncomfortable. You might have even fast forwarded that last bit. You thought, oh God, I don't want to do this. It's too difficult. And that's really what I'm saying, be willing to slow down and be with yourself because all innocent attempts to escape the present moment lead to suffering, depending on to what degree you do them or not. And if you've struggled, if you've suffered, if you've had dark times, darkness, it's like, you'll know that, it's kind of like you'll know how it works. And step 10, never give up. Never give up seeking. That's the one. It's like many people said to me when I was on my journey, you need to stop seeking. You need to stop looking for help. You need to stop looking for the next thing. You need to stop trying to find something. Never give up. Don't listen to that. That is bullshit. That is other people's beliefs. And other people's beliefs are not that useful. Even these, just take them take them if they make sense to you and don't if they don't. I'm not saying this is the solution, but what I am actually saying here is listen to yourself. Listen to your own heart. If you constantly feel like you're seeking for something. And when you find yourself, you'll realize that was what you were looking for all along. And life is always guiding you to that place. That's what life is doing. It's guiding you back inside. Every single experience, every single struggle, every single piece of suffering is guiding you back to yourself. And even though they feel difficult and challenging, and you probably want to punch somebody in the face when they tell you that, when you're struggling, afterwards you can always see it. You can always see that. So that's my 10 steps to having a better life. Thank you.
These were 10 points in 10 minutes with Jason Shiers.